Hey folks, it's Jean-Claude here. And let me tell you, I'm more excited than a pigeon in a bread factory about this trip to Hungary. We're talking goulash, thermal baths, and enough paprika to make your taste buds do the tango. Get ready for some laughs, some adult-only humor, and a whole lot of fun. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to embark on a whirlwind adventure through the heart of Europe. And trust me, you won't want to miss a single hilarious moment. This is Hungary, baby. Let's do this. First stop on our Hungarian escapade? You guessed it, thermal baths. Budapest is practically built on a giant hot tub, and trust me, these ain't your grandma's jacuzzis. We're talking sprawling complexes with more steam than a sauna in a Turkish bathhouse. Now I know what you're thinking. Jean-Claude, isn't it a little weird to strip down to your birthday suit with a bunch of strangers? And to that I say, only if you're doing it wrong. Look, these baths have been around for centuries, and let's just say the Hungarians know a thing or two about relaxation. So how does it work? Well, you basically pay your money, you strip down to your skivvies, and you soak your cares away in water that's hotter than my wife after I forget to take out the trash. There are different pools with different temperatures, different mineral contents, and probably some different questionable floating objects. But hey, that's all part of the experience, right? Just remember to stay hydrated, because soaking in hot water can really take it out of you. Plus, you'll need your strength for all the other amazing things Budapest has to offer. And trust me, when it comes to food, fun, and a little bit of international intrigue, this city's got it all. Alright folks, after a long day of soaking in thermal springs, it's time to hit the town and experience Budapest's legendary nightlife. And let me tell you, there's no better place to start than in one of the city's iconic ruin bars. Now I know what you're thinking. Ruin bars? Jean-Claude, are you sure we're going to the right place? This looks like the set of a post-apocalyptic movie, and you know what? You're not far off. These bars are literally built in abandoned buildings, former factories, and forgotten courtyards. But that's what makes them so cool. We're talking mismatched furniture, graffiti-covered walls, and enough fairy lights to make Liberace blush. It's like stepping into a hipster's fever dream, but in the best possible way. And the drinks? Let's just say they're strong enough to knock the rust off a Yugo. So, come on, let loose, embrace the unexpected, and get ready to party in a place where the only dress code is anything goes. You never know who you might meet in a Budapest ruin bar. Alright, so, you're in Hungary, land of goulash, paprika, and surprisingly good wine? I know, you're thinking, Jimmy, when I want wine, I'm going to Napa, not, no offense, whatever part of Eastern Europe this is. But trust me on this one, folks. Eger is like the hidden gem of the wine world. Nestled in these rolling hills are vineyards that have been around for centuries, producing some truly unique and delicious wines. And the best part, you can actually afford to drink them here. No need to take out a second mortgage just to try a glass. They've got this red wine called Bikaver, which means bull's blood. And no, before you ask, it's not actually made with bull's blood. Although, you know, after a few glasses you might start believing it could be. It's that good. So next time you're planning a wine tasting trip, skip the crowds and the pretentious sommeliers in Napa and head to Eger. You'll thank me later. Or maybe you won't remember because you'll be too busy enjoying the, bull's blood. Next up on our whirlwind tour of Hungary, we're hopping aboard a Danube river cruise. Get ready for an adventure that combines relaxation with breathtaking scenery. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jean-Claude, I'd rather eat a bowl of paprika than get stuck on a boat with a bunch of tourists. But trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye. And you know what? You're not wrong, but hear me out. This cruise offers a unique perspective of Hungary that you simply can't get from land. This isn't just any river cruise. This is the Danube, one of Europe's most iconic rivers. It's like the Mississippi River, but with better architecture and less chance of encountering a catfish the size of a small car. The historical and cultural significance of the Danube is unparalleled. Plus, let's be honest, you're on vacation. You deserve to unwind and soak in the beauty around you. A little relaxation never hurt anyone. In fact, it's the perfect way to recharge. Picture this. You're cruising down the river, the gentle breeze ruffling your hair, or what's left of it. It's a moment of pure bliss. You're sipping on a glass of local wine, because let's face it, when in Hungary, savoring the flavors of the region. And you're surrounded by some of the most stunning views in Europe. The landscapes are simply mesmerizing. You've got the iconic Hungarian Parliament building, the majestic Buda Castle, both standing proudly along the riverbanks, and the charming bridges connecting the two sides of the city. Each bridge has its own story and charm. It's enough to make you forget you're surrounded by people taking selfies with selfie sticks longer than their arms, almost. But hey, it's all part of the experience. Now, a word of caution about these river cruises. The buffet might look tempting, but avoid the buffet at all costs. Trust me on this one. I know, unlimited food, it's tempting, but sometimes it's better to be cautious. But trust me, you're better off packing your own snacks. A little preparation goes a long way. Unless you're a big fan of lukewarm pasta salad and mystery meat, which, let's be honest, most of us aren't, you're going to want to steer clear. Your stomach will thank you later. Besides, all that heavy food will just make you sleepy, and you don't want to miss out on the scenery, right? The views are what make this cruise truly special. Speaking of scenery, be sure to bring your camera or, your phone. Capture every beautiful moment. Or, your phone. Because you're going to want to capture every moment of this epic journey. Trust me, the memories will be worth it. And by epic, I mean, mildly interesting, but hey, it's all about the experience, right? Just imagine the Instagram envy you'll inspire with your stunning photos of, well, mostly water, but like really pretty water, the kind that makes you appreciate nature's beauty. And hey, if all else fails, you can always use the cruise as an excuse for a nap. A little rest never hurt anyone. Nobody judges a napping tourist. In fact, it's practically a rite of passage on a river cruise. Alright, history buffs and fans of fancy buildings, this one's for you. We're heading up to Buda Castle, the crown jewel of Budapest. And no, before you ask, it's not made of actual jewels, although that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? This majestic palace sits atop Castle Hill, overlooking the Danube River and offering some pretty spectacular views of the city. We're talking panoramic, Instagram-worthy, make your friends jealous kind of views. Now, Buda Castle has a long and storied history, dating back to the 13th century. It's been through wars, sieges, fires, you name it. It's basically the Taylor Swift of buildings. It's been through a lot, but it always comes out on top. Today, it's home to the Hungarian National Gallery, the Budapest History Museum, and the National Széchenyi Library. So, maybe brush up on your Hungarian history before you go. Or don't. You can always just wander around and admire the architecture. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jimmy, I can't afford to visit a castle. Do they even let people like me in? First of all, rude. Second of all, yes, you can afford it. It's Hungary, not Switzerland. And yes, they let regular people in. You don't need a royal title or a trust fund to walk through these historic halls. You just need a ticket and a willingness to pretend you're a king or queen for a few hours. So, put on your fanciest clothes, or your least stained t-shirt, practice your royal wave, and get ready to experience Buda Castle in all its glory. Who knows, you might even start speaking in a British accent. It happens. And hey, if you see a crown lying around, just try it on. We won't tell anyone, unless it looks good on you. Then we're taking pictures and posting them to Instagram with the caption, "Long live King, Queen." Your name here. Alright folks, next up on our whirlwind tour of Hungary, we're heading to Lake Balaton, a place that's often referred to as the Hungarian Riviera. They call it the Hungarian Sea, but I'm pretty sure it's just a lake. A very large and beautiful lake, but still a lake. Don't tell the Hungarians I said that though. They take great pride in this natural wonder. They might make me eat goulash for a week straight. Not that I'd mind, because Hungarian goulash is delicious. Anyway, Lake Balaton is a big deal. It's a major destination for both locals and tourists alike. It's the largest lake in Central Europe, which is pretty impressive until you realize that most of Central Europe is landlocked. But that just makes it even more special. But hey, who needs an ocean when you have a lake this big? It's like having your own inland sea. You can swim, sail, sunbathe, the whole 9 yards. There's something for everyone here. It's basically the Hungarian version of the Hamptons, but with better wine and fewer celebrities trying to sell you their skincare line. And let's be honest, the wine here is top-notch. Speaking of wine, you gotta check out the vineyards around the lake. They're a must-visit. They've been making wine here for centuries, and trust me, it's the perfect way to unwind after a hard day of doing nothing on the beach. Just sit back and enjoy the view with a glass in hand. Just try not to fall asleep in the sun after a few glasses because you might wake up with a farmer trying to sell you a prize-winning pig. It's all part of the charm. It's happened to the best of us. A little too much relaxation can lead to some funny stories. Now, if you're looking for a little more action than just lying on the beach and sipping wine, Lake Balaton has got you covered. There's no shortage of activities. They've got water sports galore, everything from windsurfing to paddleboarding to something called dragon boat racing. It's a thrill-seeker's paradise. I don't know what that is, but it sounds dangerous, and I'm here for it. The excitement is palpable. Plus, if you get tired of the lake, which I doubt you will, there are plenty of charming towns and villages to explore around the shore, each with its own unique character. You can wander the cobblestone streets, soak up the local culture, and maybe even learn a few Hungarian phrases. It's a cultural immersion. Just don't try to order chicken paprikash after a few drinks. The language barrier can be tricky. You might end up with something that looks suspiciously like goulash again. Not that it's a bad thing. So there you have it, folks, Lake Balaton. The perfect place to relax, unwind, and pretend you're a Hungarian millionaire for a week or two. It's a slice of paradise. Just remember to pack your swimsuit, your sunscreen, and your tolerance for incredibly strong wine. You're in for an unforgettable experience. Alright folks, buckle up those lederhosen and get ready for a trip to the Tokaj wine region, the sweetest spot in all of Hungary. And I'm not just saying that because their wine is so delicious, although it really is. We're talking about the home of Tokaj Azu, a dessert wine so good it's been nicknamed the King of Wines and the Wine of Kings. I don't know who came up with that nickname, but they clearly had excellent taste. This ain't your grandma's sweet wine, folks. This stuff is made from grapes that have been affected by a special kind of mold called noble rot. Yeah, you heard me right, mold. But before you go thinking it's gross, trust me, it's what gives Tokaj Azu its unique and delicious flavor. It's like the penicillin of the wine world. One sip and all your problems will disappear, at least for a little while. Now, the Tokaj wine region isn't just about the wine, although I could honestly spend hours talking about it. It's also a place with a rich history and tradition. People have been making wine here for over 400 years, and they've pretty much got it down to a science. You can take tours of the vineyards, explore the ancient cellars, and even try your hand at making your own wine. Just don't expect it to be as good as the stuff the pros make. Seriously, those guys are like the Mozart of winemaking. And while you're there, you gotta try some of the local cuisine. I'm talking about hearty stews, savory pastries, and of course, plenty of delicious desserts to pair with your Tokaj Azu. So there you have it, folks, the Tokaj wine region, the perfect place to indulge your sweet tooth, learn a little bit about Hungarian history, and maybe, just maybe, feel like royalty for a day. All right, folks, we're trading in our wine glasses for binoculars and heading out to the Great Wide Open, also known as Hordobagi National Park. Now, if you're looking for a break from the hustle and bustle of city life, this is the place to be. We're talking about a vast expanse of plains, marshes, and grasslands where the only thing louder than your thoughts is the sound of the wind whistling through the grass. It's so peaceful you might even forget to check your phone for a few hours. But don't worry, there's still plenty to see and do here. Hordobagi is a haven for wildlife, with over 300 species of birds, herds of wild horses, and even a few shy wolves roaming the park. Just try not to get trampled by a herd of gray cattle, because apparently those things are everywhere. Seriously, you can't throw a rock without hitting a cow in Hordobagi. Now, if you're lucky, you might even get to see some real-life Hungarian cowboys, also known as siasikos, showing off their horse riding skills. These guys are the real deal, folks. They can ride a horse standing on their head while simultaneously playing the accordion and herding a flock of sheep. Okay, maybe not that last part, but you get the idea. They're impressive. But Hordobagi isn't just about the wildlife and the cowboys. It's also a glimpse into Hungary's rural past, with traditional farms, thatched roof houses, and a way of life that's changed little over the centuries. So ditch the GPS, grab your sense of adventure, and get ready to experience the wild beauty of Hordobagi National Park. Just don't forget to pack your bug spray. Trust me, the mosquitoes are as big as the cows out here. Alright, party people, next up on our Hungarian hit parade, Ziget Festival. Picture this, a week-long party on an island in the middle of the Danube. Yeah, you heard me right. An island. They call it the Island of Freedom, which probably means they don't have any extradition treaties. So if you've ever wanted to cut loose, let your freak flag fly, and maybe even throw a little confetti in the air like you just don't care, this is the place to do it. We're talking music, we're talking art, we're talking enough food trucks to make Guy Fieri jealous. And hey, if you run into a guy who looks a little bit like me but smells faintly of paprika and regret, don't worry. That's just my stunt double Guillermo. Just tell him I said hi, and to please stop using my Amazon Prime account to order those novelty-sized forks. Seriously, the guy's obsessed. He thinks they make him look thinner. Now, they say Sziget is a marathon, not a sprint. But honestly, after a few days of Hungarian wine and whatever that chimney cake thing is, you'll be lucky to remember if you're running a marathon, a sprint, or starring in a low-budget remake of The Hangover. But hey, that's all part of the fun, right? It's a chance to let loose, embrace the chaos, and maybe even learn a few Hungarian dance moves. And by learn, I mean attempt after one too many shots of Palinka. Just promise me you'll record it and post it online, okay? I need new material for the show, and nothing says viral video like a bunch of tourists trying to polka after a week of partying in Budapest. So pack your bags, grab your fanny pack, and get ready for the time of your life. Or at least a week you'll never forget, or maybe a week you'll never remember. Either way, it'll be legendary. Okay, after a week of partying at Sziget, you're probably thinking, man, I need a little culture in my life. Maybe something to balance out all that fun and excitement with a touch of history and grandeur. Well, good news, because next up is the Hungarian Parliament building. This iconic structure is not just a government building, it's a masterpiece of architecture. Yeah, you heard me right, a government building. But trust me, this one is worth your time. Don't worry, I'll try to keep it exciting. After all, who said learning about history can't be fun? Now, I know what you're thinking. Jimmy, you promised me hilarious adventures, not a boring history lesson. But hang tight, this is going to be good. But trust me on this one, folks. The Hungarian Parliament building is a sight to behold. This ain't your average government building. It's a blend of Gothic revival and Renaissance revival architecture. This place is so stunning, so beautiful, it could make even a politician look good. Seriously, it's that impressive. I mean, it's got everything, towering spires, intricate carvings, enough gold leaf to make King Midas jealous. It's like a treasure trove of architectural wonders. It's like they took all the best parts of a Disney castle and said, let's make it a parliament. And the best part, it's open to the public. You can actually go inside. That's right. You can walk the same halls as the people who make all the laws. That's right, you can walk the same halls as the people who make all the laws. It's like stepping into a different world. Just try not to steal anything. Although if you happen to find a bill that lowers taxes, feel free to slip it in your pocket. Just kidding, of course. Now, I'm not saying you should skip the inside of the Parliament building or anything. It's definitely worth a look. But the real star of the show here is the view. The panoramic vistas are simply breathtaking. Seriously, this view is so good it's almost as beautiful as my wife Molly. Almost. You get to see the Danube, the Buda Castle, and more. We're talking panoramic views of the Danube, the Buda Castle, the whole city laid out before you like a delicious Hungarian buffet. It's a feast for the eyes. And get this, at night they light the whole thing up. It's a spectacle you won't want to miss. It's like something out of a fairy tale, only instead of a wicked stepmother, you have to watch out for pickpockets. But it's worth it for the view. So grab your camera, strike a pose, and get ready for a photo op that'll make all your Instagram followers green with envy. It's a must-see. Just try not to fall in the Danube trying to get the perfect selfie. Safety first, folks. We've already lost Guillermo that way once this trip, and I'm not bailing him out of Hungarian jail again. So enjoy the view, but be careful. Well, folks, there you have it. Hungary's top 10 must-do adventures. From relaxing in thermal baths, to partying on an island, to marveling at stunning architecture, Hungary's got it all. Thanks for joining me on this hilarious adventure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more fun content. And remember, folks, if you ever find yourself in Hungary, make sure to try out these adventures and tell them Jean-Claude Van Damme sent you. He's not really involved in this, but it's always fun to mess with people. See you next time.